You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Yesterday, Donald Trump was in Cleveland. It was supposed to be a White House event. He turns it into a rally, and he questioned Joe Biden's faith. Watch this.
Things that nobody ever would ever think even possible, because he's following the radical left agenda. Take away your guns, destroy your Second Amendment, no religion, no anything, hurt the Bible, hurt God. He's against God, he's against guns, he's against energy, our kind of energy. I don't think he's going to do too well in Ohio. Things that nobody ever would ever think even.
Derek, Joe Biden has enough power he can hurt God?
He has enough power that he can hurt God? Is that what he said?
He's literally said Joe Biden is going to hurt God.
No, I don't know where that came from. But I will say this, he's in Ohio. And Rob, you in Ohio. And we say this all the time when I'm kidding around with my friends. I'm like, you know, one thing what people got to realize when it comes down to this election, November 3rd, all right? So once you leave Atlanta, you're in Georgia. Once you leave Cincinnati, you're in Ohio. And a lot of times, you know, these opinions that we talk about, they come from, well, I would say a lot of times bi-coastal and urban elitist. And so there's a whole group of Americans who don't necessarily agree with everything that is said on this show.
Well, yeah, but here's the deal. But it's a hell of a whole lot who do agree. And trust me, there are white folks who agree as well. And the thing here, Rob, when you have a fool stand up talking about Joe Biden is going to hurt God, you know what? Since you know, I just wanted, you know, while we were playing that, I just want to remind y'all of this.
Talking about how it's your favorite book, and you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are, and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite.
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like.
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible. The whole Bible is an incredible. I joke. Very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking.
He didn't have no Bible verse.
Neon, but he literally said, Old Testament, New Testament. Oh, probably equal.
Yeah, he has no acquaintance with that Bible, so I don't even know why he is perpetrating that fraud. But I will also have people remember, and I will always say this, you can believe whatever you want, right? That's part of the Constitution. You can follow whatever religion you want, but the state does not have the right to establish said religion. And I think we have to always keep that in mind, that the framers that we like to pull out every time we want to talk about something, were very cautious of religion, in particular state-run religion or state-promoted religion. So we should always keep that in mind when we're talking about leaders and their faith, right? That there is a separation between those two things, and there ought to be, in the framers' minds at least. And I think for many people who are non-religious or who are non-Christian, right, that we don't actually want that to be a thing. And Donald Trump is about as religious as a box of hair.
I just got Rob, but I got to play this one last one for you. And Derek, this is still so special for somebody who just loves and adores the Bible so much that they can't even talk about their favorite verse. This is probably why.
Ask some of the folks, because I hear this is a major theme right here, but 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17, that's the whole ball game. Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is,
Anthony,
there is liberty. And here there is Liberty College, but Liberty University, but it is so true. You know, when you think, and that's really... Is that the one? Is that the one you like? I think that's the one you like, because I loved it.
God.
And it's so representative of what's taken place. But we are going to protect Christianity. And if you look what's going on throughout the world, you look at Syria. I asked some of the folks, because I hear this is a major theme right here, but 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game.
Rob, he literally told somebody, find me a Bible verse that got liberty in it. And this fool went up there and said, 2 Corinthians. There's no church I've ever been to where they've ever said, brothers and sisters, could you please turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17.
There's one Roland, the Trump of Trump. You know, that's his. He's got his own church apparently. Maybe he's going to start Trump Church after this, because if you want to protect Christianity, you need to get rid of Donald Trump. He's the biggest threat to Christianity we've ever seen. And this is what I want to say for all these folks that are Bible-toting, that are just behind Donald Trump, and they don't care that he's cheated on his wife. They don't care that he says he's assaulted women. They don't care that he cusses all the time. That tells me they don't care about everything they say that they do. So I don't want to hear it when there's a Democratic president. They're going to say, oh, my gosh, they don't have morality. Like, you back Donald Trump. You no longer have credibility in telling me something about your religion. And so, like, they are selling out to me, people that are backing this man and just ignoring his moral failings, because they are clear and present for anybody to see. And Republicans, every Republican that's not in power sees that and says that, that's not looking for something from him, almost says that. People that don't have to depend on him. So he is actually doing more damage to Christianity, because people are saying, look, I'm a Christian, but I can see if people are like, if that's a Christian, that's something I don't want to be. If you're saying if that's the religion that he's following, like, I don't see what anything he stands for, locking up children, putting them away, having no empathy, having no sympathy. Like, none of those things align with the Bible. The Bible is about grace. The Bible is about love. Nobody in their right mind would use those words to describe Trump. You wouldn't use grace. You wouldn't use love. You would use none of those things if we're being honest about it. But instead, this tells me they have a higher value. It is not about religion. It's about something else.
Derek, I know you got to go. I'm going to give you the final comment on this one. Somebody put this on Twitter. They said, well, 2 Corinthians is acceptable depending upon the way you preach. Watch this.
3:17.
Hold on.
2 Corinthians 3:17. Instead of the conventional American way of 2 Corinthians 3:17.
That's a priest trolling Trump, Derek.
I was trying to figure it out.
He goes 2 Corinthians as opposed to the acceptable way of 2 Corinthians. That was his way of saying the person in the Oval Office is a religious idiot.
All this is that there are many interpretations of the Bible.
No. There's NIV, there's a King James, there's an ASV, there's the Message. They're all, in every single one, it ain't 2 Corinthians.
I don't know which version that was. I had to go look that one up, man. I don't know.
You can do a drive-by a church and know it's not 2 Corinthians.
I gotta look which version that came from, man. I can't speak on it.
Derek, go and be with your wife for her birthday. Go on. Just sign it. Just cut it off like you did last week. Just go on. Go on.
I'm out. I'll talk to you.
Go on. Y'all go ahead and run that the Don Winslow film of Trump fake Christianity. Roll it. Y'all told me y'all had it, and how y'all not ready?
I'm very pro-choice. And again, it may be a little bit of a New York background because there is some different attitude in different parts of the country. And, you know, I was raised in New York and grew up and work and everything else in New York City.
But you would not ban it?
No.
Or ban partial birth abortion?
No, I am pro-choice in every respect, and as far as it goes.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians...
Y'all, Trump is a fake Christian. I mean, that hashtag is on the money right there, Dr. Carter. He a fake Christian. That little stunt he pulled, he didn't even know how to hold the Bible. This is how he looked.
He just got an old used version.
Anybody who has held the Bible, who hold it above their head, does not go... No, they hold the Bible. They know how to hold it. Go ahead.
But I was saying, but let's also remember what he did immediately before he snapped that picture, right? He had tear gas those people and otherwise used force to move them back so he could take a damn picture in front of a church that he does not attend and clearly with a Bible that he is not very acquainted with. So Donald Trump is here for the pictures. Donald Trump is here to sort of make people believe that he is going to be some sort of beacon of Christianity, perhaps survival of Christianity. He's made them feel that they have a friend in the White House, and in turn, they vote for him in great numbers. And I think Rob's point is exactly right. I don't want to hear about your moral high ground anymore. I don't want to hear about your Christian faith and your morality. This man is on tape talking about he was grabbing women by their private part, and nobody batted an eye. Right. And you got all these evangelicals to show up at that White House and put their hands on this man and pray over him as if. So I don't want to hear anything about his Christianity. I don't want to hear about the folks who supposedly support his Christianity, because if you can look at a man who does the things that he does, that says the things that he says and creates the discord and the damage that he has created in this country, there are over 150,000 people dead right now that shouldn't be dead.
But here's the deal, and here's the mistake, Rob, that I really believe progressives make. What progressives do, and I saw a segment earlier where Matt Schlapp was questioning Joe Biden's faith against Donald Brazil. And what he did was he only framed the issue of faith and politics within the prism of abortion. Yep. Angela Stanton tried that with me on Twitter the other day, and I just straight up just demolished her ass. Yep. And I said, because she was like, you're supporting a man who wants to fund Planned Parenthood. I'm supporting a man who's protecting the innocent unborn and who wants to defund Planned Parenthood. I said, I'm sorry. Are you also supporting the same man who wanted to cut the food subsidies to the poor? Last I checked, that's also what the Bible talks about. I said, are you also supporting the man who actually had the children of folks who crossed the border snatched out of their hands, removed from them, sent those kids to other families, did not document what happened to those children? I said, is that also the Christian way of life? I said, if y'all want to have a discussion about Trump policies and Christianity, we can have that conversation. See, I have long said white right-wing conservatives and a few black folks who vote with them, they only want to define faith as two things: being against abortion and being against gay folk. That's the only two issues. They don't want to have a discussion about Christianity and about caring for the needy. They don't want to have a conversation about housing and the homeless and the poor. I said, how can you, Angela Stanton, support a man and you use Christianity as the basis of it? when he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which is health care, I said, with no plan? Oh, but y'all don't want to talk about that part of Christianity. See, this is where I keep trying to tell progressives, stop falling for their okie doke. If y'all want to have a Christian conversation, a faith conversation. I remember when I was on CNN the night Obama was going with Rick Warren, and we were on the air, and they had Tony Perkins on, Family Research Council. They always want to pull Tony Perkins. And I told CNN, why every time y'all want to talk about faith, y'all always pull this white conservative evangelical out? So they had me against Tony Perkins. And he had the audacity, the unmitigated gall, to bring up Reverend Wright he said, well, that's not what Christians are about. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Tony. You want to have a Christian conversation? Last I checked, the real responsibility of Christians is to save souls. I said, you want to have a Sermon on the Mount conversation? Bruh, let's go. See, the real problem is that progressives who are of the faith, they go on TV and they speak more through the prism of their progressive views as opposed to the prism of their faith. And so my deal is here. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm not a conservative or a liberal. But I can tell you one thing, what I'm not going to do is let these white conservative evangelicals and these black folks like Angela Stanton, Alveda King, and others define faith solely as two issues. Y'all want a faith conversation?
Bring it on.
Come on.
Because look, Trump, we talked about COVID exposing America, exposing our weaknesses. Trump has exposed Christians to me, some white Christians that say that they're Christians, they believe in these things, and clearly Trump does not. I mean, and clearly, if you listen to the words of Jesus, right, they don't align with anything Trump stands for. Jesus was a disruptor. He turned over tables within the church because they weren't doing what they were supposed to. They weren't looking out for the needy. How do you think he would feel about Trump sending kids over the border, letting them die? How do you think he would feel about taking away health care from people? How do you think he would feel about putting money ahead of the interest of people's health? I mean, Jesus is very clear on these things. And so, like, I am not afraid to have these conversations. And I do think people that are of the faith, we accept people that are not. But when it comes down to it, we can't be afraid to have a conversation. We can't be afraid to frame our values, and we can't let them frame it. Because if we do, then it looks like, oh, they're the Christians, but they're not.
I ain't letting no white conservative evangelical talk to me about Trump when that man wouldn't even admit to paying off porn stars. I don't want to hear nothing from them about this man in faith when he actually said he saw no reason in his whole life where he had to ask God for grace and mercy. You can't find nobody. First of all, Jesus said, I died for your sins. This fool basically said, I ain't got no sins to confess. I'm good. Y'all, he's a fake Christian. Let me be as clear as possible. White conservative evangelicals don't give a damn about the Bible. They don't care about faith. What they care about are tax cuts. What they care about are right-wing federal judges. They don't care about civil rights. They don't care about human rights. And when Matt Schlapp sits there on Fox News talking about what it means to be a Catholic, did Matt Schlapp forget the fact that the Catholic Church also vehemently opposes the death penalty? Who was the one who reinstated the federal death penalty? Donald Trump. But I thought y'all pro-life. So why'd you reinstate the federal death penalty? Dr. Carter, that's what I keep telling progressives. Stop punking out and letting somebody question your faith.
Well, I mean, look, I think it's hard because I think, like you said, the two big issues that people always talk about are abortion or
No, not people. No. White conservative evangelicals talk about those two.
We all participate in it because we have limited the conversation to faith of that.
We let them limit it.
Also goes to this larger issue, though, that people aren't ideologically consistent, right? I say I'm pro-life, but what I really mean is I only care about people having the right to be born. I don't really care about their life once they are born. I certainly don't have responsibility to other people, right? So when we talk about condemning people to the death penalty, that's perfectly fine if I'm a pro-lifer in some cases, right? I don't care about SNAP assistance, right? I don't care about children having somewhere safe to live or having regular access to food, having access to adequate education, all the things that would actually support life, right? Environmental cleanliness, right? I don't care about any of those things, because the issue is not about Christianity, bottom line. The issue is about using whatever pool you have to forestall conversation. Because the minute you say, I'm a Christian, particularly to somebody who's not a Christian, right, who can't go Bible verse to Bible verse with you, it makes it very difficult to have a conversation, because now I have to question your faith. And usually for many people, even Americans, it's a non-starter. And I think that's a very easy way to forestall any debate or conversation. You say, oh, it's my religious conviction. Well, if I happen to not share that conviction or that tradition, then we can't actually have a conversation, and you can go on being the bigot that you've always been.
And Sid, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
We can face this pandemic head on. We can do what it takes to protect our families and our communities. Together, we can get our economy moving again, but not without the tools and resources we need to get the job done. To win this fight, it is going to take a public service army. Don't let Congress fire the frontline workers who can save us. Text FUND to 237263 to tell Congress to fund the front lines.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.